Happy Thursday, Locked On Women's Basketball fans. Guys, I'm here with two members of Roses BC. First up, the incredible Lexie Hull, and then we'll have Azura Stevens on. Locked On Women's Basketball starts right now.
You are Locked On Women's Basketball, your daily podcast on women's basketball. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Super Bowl 59 is here, and there's no better way to make every play more exciting than with FanDuel Sportsbook. New customers can bet just $5, and if you win, you'll score $200 in bonus bets. Download the app or head to FanDuel.com to get started. All right, without further ado, Lexie Hull is here. Lexie, how are you? How is Miami?
I'm good. Thank you. Miami's been great. It's 80 degrees all week, so no complaints over here.
Okay, good. And so have you been liking that, like being stationed in Miami throughout this cold winter?
Yes, yeah. Otherwise, it'd be in Indianapolis, and it's freezing there. So happy to be here. And a lot of my friends and family also have been visiting and excited to visit because of the weather. So it's a great place to be.
Okay, that's actually, I'm so happy you brought that up. So has your sister made it out? Have you guys hit the 305 together yet?
We have. She was here a couple weeks ago. So yeah, she's made it out, and she's coming again in February. So it should be fun.
Okay, awesome. And so I know you've been on before and people know your story. I get curious when people come from a family where you get to practice with like a sibling, your dad played. At what age did you know you were really, really good? And not only were you going to be great in college and win a championship or two, but also extend and play professionally?
I mean, I didn't really think I was going to play professionally when I went to college. It was never like the dream of mine. And then kind of playing, coming up to my senior year, I didn't want to be done and thought that it was a great opportunity. So I figured I'd try, but definitely didn't picture this job for me like years ago, but so like grateful for the opportunity now. But yeah, it's crazy to get to play and get paid for it.
Right. And like you're saying, you didn't really know, but then 6 overall, 2022, that class is unreal too. Do you remember that feeling of getting your name called and you're like, okay, this is going to be my future, at least for the next couple years?
Yeah, that day was absolutely crazy. I wasn't at the draft. And so they invited the projected like first round to the draft. So I wasn't projected to go in the first round, let alone 6. And I was with my family and my friends, and we were watching at a little like draft party, and none of us were really watching the screen until we heard Stanford guard, and we're like, wait a second, that's me. It was absolutely insane. So definitely just a really great memory that I got to share with all my loved ones.
That's awesome. And you're super humble. Like when you look back on that and you think of people, either players at Stanford now or people just looking to make it in the league, is there a piece of advice that you heard along the way that you wish you knew earlier, or maybe something that you've learned since joining the W and playing professionally where you're like, oh man, if I only knew that at a younger age, that would have helped?
I think like just to trust the process. The draft is really intimidating and can be scary, and you can think that it means so much, but at the end of the day, it's how you perform when you get to training camp, when you get to a season. So to stress about where you're going to end up isn't worth it. And I wish I did less of that because everything works out exactly how it's supposed to be, and everyone's journey is a little bit different. So yeah, I think I would just say, just enjoy the moment and trust the process.
Super poetic. And so now fast forward, you're in Miami, you're playing with an unreal team. Like I look at this roster and I'm like, are you kidding? Everybody all together, Kalia, Chelsea. What's it like playing with Chelsea Gray and getting those no-look passes from the point guard?
I mean, it's great to be on the receiving end of them. And it's just so cool to get to play with players that have so much experience, and you can just tell in the way they practice and the way they communicate with each other that it's at another level. It's a higher level, and I'm trying to soak up as much as I can. And obviously playing with them has been really, really fun. And I think you see that in the highlight tapes that Chelsea has every other day. So it's so fun.
Yeah. And for you, what was the preparation like to be like, okay, by by January, I'm going to be ready to go full court 3-on-3. What were the things that you were focusing on in that off season after the W?
Staying in shape. I think that's a big one for this league. It's really fast, and making sure that physically I was ready to go. And that, I think, started a month or two before January, just making sure my body was back into game shape. And then working on shooting. Teams that make shots are going to win games here. And that's even in 5-on-5, but especially on 3-on-3, because you get a lot more open looks. So yeah, just really getting in the gym and getting ready.
And it's so impressive to watch Roses play, because I think you guys do such a good job of facilitating really good shots for each other. And it's a lot of really great looks. So how has that progressed as you guys have gotten to know each other and felt more like a team since playing?
I think we're just building chemistry every day and realizing that because there's so much space on the court. I think originally we came in and we thought that we can just go one-on-one and that'll be a good shot. But I think we're realizing that there's better shots than that because of the spacing on the court. So being able to use each other, cut, have an extra pass, hit those open shots. I think that's something that we're continuing to get better at every single day and every single practice.
And then now there's a moment for you to flex. Like, has there been a play that you've been in this Unrivaled season where you're like, okay, I get it now? Like, you were kind of in your bag on an occasion or two?
I don't know. I think I love to cut and receive crazy passes. And I think in our game our first win against the Mist, I had just some really great receiving catches from Chelsea. And that's just so fun because I think that gets our energy up and it gets everyone into more of a flow when we can use each other really well. So I would say that game was really fun.
And you guys play the Mist tomorrow. You said it was maybe like a more chill practice day before game, but what's the preparation like for you guys, and maybe for you specifically too, as you go to play the Mist again?
We worked a lot on the actions that they're going to run. Every team has insane rosters, as you know, and every team uses those players differently. So really just focusing on how they use each of their pieces and the actions that they run for them and figuring out the best way to guard that. That's the main focus. And I think for us, we're just really trying to set our defensive identity, and it's going to come in with locking in on all of those actions that we practiced today.
Got you. And I know you got games to get through, but we do have the one-on-one tournament coming up. And Lexie, man, I'm looking at your bracket. Who are you most excited to play in this pool? Like, you have Ryan, she went number 1 overall 2022, same year as you. Like, you have Fee. There's just so many players. Katie Lou, you too. Like, is there anybody that you're like, oh man, I cannot wait to go one-on-one against them?
I mean, I'm looking one game at a time. So we're starting it off with Ryan, and it's going to be a fun one. I mean, we battle during this W season, and she's an incredible player, an incredible one-on-one player. So got my hands full, but I'm really excited about it and excited to get out there and play. Hey,
now. Okay. All right. And I want to talk to you a little bit about the Fever. You guys got some new additions. What was it like hearing the news? And I'm so excited for the Fever to come. So yeah, what is it like for you guys and for the squad looking ahead?
I mean, I think we're just so excited. And I think, I'm still getting used to this heading into my 4th year. Every single season, every team, it looks so different with just the changes across the league and free agency and trades. And I mean, it's hard to keep it all straight, but finally, getting to our final roster and seeing what that's going to look like. I'm just excited about the leadership that's coming in and the experience that's coming in. And that's all the way from the top at our coaches, all the way down to people we got. So I'm just excited to learn, and hopefully we can have a longer push in the off season this year.
Oh yeah. And some quick hitters before we let you go. You got your whole day ahead of you. What's the best arena to play in the W season?
Obviously Gainbridge Fieldhouse. and the fans are the best. It's the loudest. It's the most fun. So obviously, easy answer.
Awesome. What is one thing that you're manifesting, if you believe in that, or at least maybe like a bucket list item that you have for 2025?
WNBA Finals Championship.
Hey. Okay.
We're speaking that into existence.
Okay. And then I asked Stephanie Dolson this, and she gave me an awesome piece of advice about dating, because we talk to players a lot, and it's like we're talking about basketball. There's so much life beyond that. And her piece of advice for dating was, you never really know, like it's not going to be a perfect relationship, but you can make it perfect. I was like, okay, that's beautiful. What's like the best piece of dating advice you've ever gotten or that you would give out?
Find your best friend. I think it's really cliche, but like you spend a lot of time together and you need someone who's going to be in your corner no matter what. So find someone that you love spending time with.
Awesome. All right, Lexie, we'll let you go. I mean, it's so awesome to hear from you. I'm so excited to watch you guys this weekend, and then hopefully see you in the finals of the one-on-one tournament too next week.
Thank you. Great talking to you.
All right, great talking to you. All right, everybody. That was Lexie Hull. You guys know her. You love her. We're going to do a little ad break before we get Azura on. So today's episode is brought to you by Prize Picks. Basketball season is heating up. You know this, and there's no better way to get in on the action than with Prize Picks, the best place for daily fantasy sports. With over 10 million members and billions awarded in winnings, Prize Picks make it easy and fun to turn your sports knowledge into real money. Here's how it works. Just pick more or less on at least 2 player projections. And if you were right, you can win up to 1,000 times your cash. Prize Picks even has a free pick for the big game where Pat Mahomes only needs to throw 1 yard to win. Pair that with one more correct pick and you're cashing out. This week, I'm looking at the board and selecting more for Jason Tatum on points and more for Luka Doncic on assists. The best part, Prize Picks keeps it simple, and you could set up your lineup in less than 60 seconds, and their fast, secure withdrawals mean you get paid quickly when you win. Plus, their Taco Tuesday promotion gives you discounted player projections for even more value. Check out the promos tab to tail any of the Super Bowl Sweet Millie winners' big game lineups. If you tail a lineup that goes 3 for 3, you can win a split of $1 million in promo funds. Download the app today and use code LOCKEDONNBA to get $50 off instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code LOCKEDONNBA for $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks, run your game. All right. Next up, guys, the one and only, let me switch this out. We got the name here, WNBA champion, also a member of Rose BC, Azura. Azura, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Happy belated birthday, by the way. What's this, 5 days later?
Yeah.
How was your birthday?
It was really great. Obviously we played and we got the win, so that was awesome. And then I got to spend some time with my family the couple of days after that, so it was really nice.
Okay, that's what I was wondering. So is your family in North Carolina mostly?
Yeah.
And okay, so they could come down pretty easily.
Yeah. A quick little flight.
Little flight. So why is Carrie so good at basketball? You're not the only basketball great to come out of Carrie.
I know. Yeah, there's been a few of us. Obviously Tiani's playing right now at Kentucky and she's killing it. Tamari played at Tennessee, did really well there. So it's cool. It's cool seeing them. I'm pretty cool with both of them also. So it's nice to see them, just putting on for the city.
Yeah. And like you go from Carrie and you also then head up Duke and then you go to UConn. Like what was it like moving around geographically for basketball? And was UConn kind of always end goal for you for college?
Yeah, I mean, going into it, I didn't really think like I was going to transfer. I knew coming out of high school that I didn't really want to leave home. So I took visits to most of the bigger schools around like the Raleigh-Durham area, NC State, UNC, and Duke. And Duke was just like amazing. So that's why I went there in the beginning. And then I just felt like after a couple of years, it was time for me to make a change. So I just opened back up like my recruitment. It's so different nowadays compared to back then. But and then when Gino called, I kind of was like, well, I'm not gonna like turn that down. That's like a once in a lifetime opportunity. And then I had played with a couple of the players. I'd played with Fee in USA. I played with Crystal. I was obviously like knew about Kia, Gabby, Lou. So it was kind of a no-brainer for me. I wasn't even going to go on a visit, to be honest. But my parents were like, no, we should go up there and just like check everything out and just see how it is. So I went and it was like a quick weekend. And then like I knew I was going there after I went up to visit. So I wouldn't say I went into it like thinking I was going to transfer. But, things happen and you got to make the best decision for you. So I did that. And when I look back on it, I mean, I kind of got the best of both worlds. So it was a cool college like journey that I had.
Yeah, that's awesome. And then now Miami, what's it like knowing that you have at least the next month or so in Miami before W season starts? Like, is it completely compartmentalized and you're like, all right, this is one season and then we'll go into another? Or are you like, all right, I'm working on this so I could be ready for W in certain aspects?
Yeah, I think it's a little bit of both. Obviously, this style of play is a lot different than what we're going to be playing in the W. So 3-on-3 is just, it's fun, it's exciting, and I played a little bit with USA. So I enjoyed the challenge of kind of your brain working a little differently for 3-on-3 than 5-on-5. But a lot of the skills are transferable, obviously, to 5-on-5 because it's still basketball at the end of the day. It's still reading and reacting, and so. So yeah, it's a little bit of both. And then there's a lot of free time that we can have and different coaches we can work with down here, which has been really cool too. So I definitely am trying to take advantage of that and just continue to prepare just for the next season coming up in the W.
Anything new you're trying to add to the toolbox, or any moves you're working on? I see you're hustling out there.
I think just going off the dribble more. Obviously, I can stretch the floor, I can play down low, but I think for me, that's kind of a missing piece in my game is like going off the bounce a little bit more, which I can do it, but obviously just practicing it more and getting more comfortable with using those skills.
Has there been anybody that's been like particularly helpful down there in working on that?
Just in practice, we do some skill work a little bit. We started doing it a little bit more. Me, Angel, and Lisa worked out a little bit yesterday, which was really cool. Just working with one of the legends of the game. And so, yeah, I'm going to work with Phil also, Handy. And I worked with him when I first got here. We did a workout, a kind of a group workout, but we were doing some off the bounce stuff. So I'm really excited to just get a little bit more time with him, working one-on-one.
Sounds like you guys have, it's like kind of like a playground. You're like, all right, I want to work on this. No problem. I have all these experts.
Yeah. The resources here are really amazing. Just from all different types of facets. Obviously the weight room, we have any type of machine and just a bunch of trainers in there that can help us. Treatment wise, there's a bunch of trainers here helping us. And then obviously, like we just talked about on the court. So it's really cool. It's really cool just to have all of those resources readily available. And as an athlete, you really like that and you really can appreciate that.
I think it's great you bring that up. And I wanted to keep this like purely basketball. I think it's a lot of times it's a little bit hard because I know everybody playing has so much different expertise. Like you have Harvard business expertise. Like has this time and conversations you've been having down there, like kind of changed the way you think about business in a way? Because I'm sure it's something that you have to keep on your mind even while you work on skill set.
Yeah, for sure. I think just seeing what they've been able to do here with the amount of time is really inspiring for anybody that's starting a business or thinking about anything business-like. It's been pretty cool, and it hasn't been perfect, but they've really just pushed a lot of limits in terms of investing in women's sports and providing all the things that we need within the time frame that they've had. Even just coming up with the idea. I'm not sure the exact time when Unrivaled was even really like thought of, but I mean, it's probably been around maybe a couple years, let's say max. And to be able to have it up and running and like have everything and still be, wanting to growing and learning and changing is awesome. Like that's really awesome. And that's inspiring to see. I own a business with my dad, so I know all the hard work that goes into getting something like off the ground and running. And I think it's just been really cool to see like everything that they've put together for us. And the things that they continue to, like, it's really, really awesome just to see that and honestly be a part of it. So, yeah.
You brought it up, the shrimp and grits, man. Same Damos? Is that still the name? Okay.
Yeah.
Can you talk a little bit more about that? Because I think like everybody's eating at a food truck and I always wonder, I'm like, man, you're in that all day. Logistically, it's kind of tough, but it's a great business model. So yeah, where'd that idea come from and where do you guys see it going?
Yeah, so it was around COVID. Obviously, like everybody was home, and me and my dad had talked about. My dad's a chef. Like he went to school. He went to Johnson and Wales in Rhode Island for culinary. So he's always been a good chef. Always worked various jobs, all of that. And me and him had always talked about kind of opening up a little spot together, just back in my hometown because I love my hometown. I go back a lot, and so we thought about, okay, what's a way that we can kind of capitalize off of, people knowing me in the area, the community, and put that together with like his skills as well. So we thought about doing a restaurant at first. And then he did a lot of the research, and that's when he came up with the idea of doing the food truck, just because overhead cost wise, it's a lot cheaper than a restaurant. And I like the idea of being able to move around different areas. Obviously, I went to Duke, so being able to move to Durham, being able to move to like through Raleigh, through Cary, like just the RDU area. Logistically, it's a lot easier, obviously, to do that with a food truck because you can move the truck around. So we just thought about it, and then my sister came up with kind of like the plans of what the inside of the truck will look like, and my dad did a lot of the research just for like finding people to help like buy the truck, create the truck. I mean, we had some people work on it and build it up from scratch. So it was just awesome to see it kind of all come to fruition. And I'd never been a part of like something like that. But like I saw all the work that he put in behind the scenes, just researching and trying to find people to help make the truck, and then seeing like the floor plan on a piece of paper and then going to actually see the truck. Like it was just really cool to see all of that behind the scenes. And then we opened up right before COVID, which was really perfect because like everybody was at home. So like a lot of the first events that we did were like at apartment complexes because everybody was at home, and it was actually really, really good. But now he does more like festivals and stuff, fairs, that type of thing in the summer, especially. And he's got a lot of business just down there, a lot of repeat customers, a lot of love from the community, which feels really great too. So yeah, it's been really special just to see it kind of all come to fruition and continue to grow and build.
Congrats on that. It sounds amazing. Everybody check out, like if you see this Same Odemo's truck, get the shrimp and grits, unless there's something better to get that you would recommend.
Like first timers, you got to get the shrimp and grits because that's a staple that's been on there from the beginning. He's changed the menu around a little bit, but the shrimp and grits is like that's the go-to. You got to get that if you've never been. But there's fish, he does chicken, so he's kind of added a few things here and there. And sometimes he gets a little creative and does some seasonal things. He did like a buffalo mac and cheese like egg roll once. It was so good, like so good. So sometimes he mixes it up, but if you're going first time, you got to get the shrimp and grits. You got to get that.
Okay, gotcha. That egg roll sounds crazy. All right, last couple. We're gonna go back to basketball before we let you go. Man, win a championship 21. Now you're on Roses. Like one of you guys is gonna win the one-on-one tournament. This is crazy. But you're in the same bracket as Miss Chelsea Gray too. Yeah. How do you feel about that?
I mean, it's obviously you don't want to go up against one of your teammates, but hey, once we get in those 4 lines, like it's all competition, and whoever's in there, we're gonna compete. We're gonna compete against each other, and I think it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be competitive, but it's gonna be fun to see just a lot of different lineups. Even just with the first set of lineups, there's a lot of ones that I'm like, oh, these are gonna be really good games. So I'm excited to be a part of it, and I'm just excited to see everybody compete.
Any predictions?
I gotta go with my Rose team, so I think Ka's gonna take it all, but I'm going for all the Roses. Obviously, except if I play against one, then okay, like I'm gonna go for myself. But yeah, I'm going for the Roses, and then outside of that, I mean, I think Rakia's gonna make some noise for real. I think she has a good chance of winning too. So yeah, but I think it's gonna be crazy matchups all across the board. So yeah,
crazy. And then my last one before we let you go, playing with Ka. Man, are you tired of it? Like what's going on? Are you guys, is that chemistry just elite because you have that experience with Chicago, or yeah, what's going on with that?
Yeah, no, it's been so awesome. Obviously we played together in Chicago. We won the 1 year, and then we played 2 other years, so 3 years in total, and it's just been great. I think like you can just see our chemistry on the court playing together. It hasn't really taken us a long time to gel because I know Ka, I know her game. I played with her a lot of games in Chicago, a lot of minutes together too. So I've loved it. I've loved just being back on the court with her. It's been really fun. It's been really cool just to have that connection, like again. And it's been really fun. I'm just enjoying all of it. I love all my teammates on the Roses, but yeah, that's connection is really special because we won together, and that'll have us bonded for life. So it's been really cool.
For life. All right. Well, I appreciate your time. I know our listeners do. Go get them this weekend, next week too. So excited to see the continued success.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right. Thank you. All right, guys, just real quick before we go, we want to shout out another one of our sponsors for today. And then we're going to send you guys home. What a great Thursday it's been. 2 amazing guests. We want to give some love to the one and only FanDuel. It's time. It's that time of year too. I know everybody is in the FanDuel app. So FanDuel, guys, You know it, you love it. Super Bowl 59 is here. One game, two teams, endless possibilities, right? And there's no better way to make every play more exciting than with FanDuel Sportsbook. Whether it's predicting the first touchdown, calling MVP, or even betting on the coin toss, FanDuel makes it easy to get in on the action. With live betting all game long, you can adjust your bets as the game unfolds and feel the thrill from kickoff to the final whistle. The live betting feature lets you stay involved no matter what happens on the fields. And the app is super easy to navigate. Plus, knowing that you could place a $5 bet and potentially win 200 in bonus bets for the Super Bowl, that's icing on the cake. Download the app or head to fanduel.com to get started. Bet just $5, and if you win, you'll score $200 in bonus bets. That's fanduel.com. Bet with FanDuel, official partner of Super Bowl 59. All right, and that's what we have for Thursday. Locked On Women's Basketball fans, thank you for constantly tuning in. We love having our Unrivaled people on. And let me know what you think. A lot of good little tidbits in this one. So have a great Thursday, and we'll see you soon.